Hello, everyone, and welcome to another day of 21 Days of Self-Care. Today, I have my friend Pat with me. Pat, how are you doing today?
I'm doing great, thank you.
Excellent. It's really good to have you. So,
Yes.
tell everyone a little bit about who you are and what you do.
Okay, hello everyone. My name is Pat Ogban. I'm a registered nurse. I have a master's in nursing. I'm currently doing my PhD in nursing. I'm the CEO of MyBody Wellness Clinic.
MyBody Wellness Clinic. I love that. I love that name. It's very empowering, like just in the name, because it's like My Body Wellness, right?
Of course.
So, what is MyBody Wellness all about?
Yes. So as you hear the name, MyBody Wellness is all about your body.
I love that.
Yes, yes. So in our clinic, I am a big fan of preventative health. So we focus on preventative care. We also focus on chronic disease management, self-care of chronic disease.
Yes.
We also focus on reversing some chronic diseases. So we have chronic diseases like pre-diabetes.
Right.
That can be reversible.
Absolutely.
So education is a big part of what we do in our clinic.
Right.
So we educate people.
Yes.
A lot of people. So diagnosis like high blood pressure, that is
Right.
very common.
Right.
Those kinds of diseases, we focus on a big part of education. We focus on looking at people's blood work and seeing what is in your blood work, what started this in the first place.
Right.
So in my body wellness clinic, we also have body composition analyzer that we use.
Yes.
And that would help you give you everything that's happening in your body, like your body mass.
Yes.
The equipment is a medical grade equipment. It's InBody 770. It will also give us some ideas around your visceral fats. That contributes a lot to chronic disease. So it will help us like develop protocol for you. And so that's what our clinic is all about.
Wow.
Yes.
So I heard a few different parts. They're all connected.
Right.
So I heard preventative health, which is very important before you even get
the disease,
in the first place.
Yes.
Then I heard chronic disease management.
Of course.
Because once you do have that chronic disease, you still need a place to go. It's not just prevention. And then I really love that you said chronic disease reversal.
Of course.
So just because you have that disease doesn't mean you have to live with it the rest of your life.
No.
It's completely reversal, and then you can get into that preventative stage, which you help with too.
Yes.
Wonderful. So tell me a little bit more about the body analysis, the biometric data and all of that stuff. What can you see in your body?
Yes.
And what does it tell us about our body?
Okay, so it tells a lot about the body, depending on who comes through the clinic.
Right.
Some people know themselves so well.
Oh.
They're just focusing on their muscle mass.
Okay.
They want to build more muscle. So they use the equipment, and then they'll see the progression of their muscle. They know exactly what to eat and how to continue to train to build those muscle.
Yes.
Some people, they just want to know a little bit about their body because they've been eating healthy, they're not losing the weight they want to lose, and then they use the equipment, they discover, you know what, I have a lot of fat, body percentage, body fat percentage. I need to lose a little bit of fat. So the equipment would help you track that.
Yes.
And also your bone health. So
that's big.
Equipment will also dictate for you what is going on with your bone. We also have face angle that you could get from the equipment. So your facial angle is really focused on the integrity of your cellular health. That equipment will help you as well. As I said, visceral fats is one of the big ones there. So also your water, the water in your internal cell or external cellular water, it will give you those numbers. So I really like the equipment. It just gives you the overall picture.
Yes.
The good news about this equipment is I'm so in love with it because some people would say, I don't need anything. I eat healthy, but it's your body composition. It's not somebody else's.
No.
You're not just
it
weighing
doesn't
yourself.
lie.
Yes, it doesn't lie. You know, some people think they are so healthy, but when they get on that equipment, they find out that they have visceral fats.
Right.
That doesn't really show when you're standing on the scale. So I'm always inviting people, come and get your body composition analysis done.
It's your body. It's MyBody Wellness Clinic. Yeah. Okay. This is incredible. So we've talked about visceral fat quite a bit.
Yes.
Like you've mentioned it quite a bit, but I want you to define that because there could be some people sitting there and being like, what is visceral fat? So what's visceral fat?
Well, there are different kinds of fat. I usually talk about visceral fat because I say chronic disease management. We have a lot of people who come through the clinic that will present to us like slim looking,
they look
skinny
healthy.
Exactly. So visceral fat are those fat that surrounds your organs in your body,
Yes,
say your
yes,
kidney, your
yes,
liver, and all of
yes.
that. I don't want to go into this detail of
Right,
visceral fat because then there are components of visceral fat. You could say the ones that are inside your organs
right.
and external
Wrapping
outside.
around
Yeah,
the
yeah.
organs.
So
Exactly.
so
Yeah.
that's visceral fat in a nutshell.
Right, right.
Yes.
And I remember, because I studied kinesiology, I remember how the peripheral fat, the ones in the hips and the waist, usually is okay. The ones the women tend to pack. But then the ones in the midsection, right? That often is the problem. So this machine actually lets you see it specifically and say, there's fat around my kidney, there's fat around. Is that
Yeah,
kind
so
of
it gives you like a percentage of the visceral fat,
okay?
the
The
fat around.
percentage,
Yeah, is
all your
exactly.
organs in
Yeah,
total.
yeah, exactly. So
Wow.
it gives you an idea. We have a parameter that we sort of measure.
Yes.
You shouldn't go above this. If
Right.
it is, then you start walking towards it.
Yes.
And so people have come to the clinic to say, you know what, instead of me going through all of these things you're telling us, we have to go to liposuction. Let me tell you, that has nothing to do with your visceral fat. It's on the surface.
It's taking out the peripheral
right.
fat.
Yeah, subcutaneous fat. Like,
subcutaneous,
yes,
yeah, under
but
the skin.
yeah, under the skin, right? So visceral fat is not affected by that.
No.
So regardless of what surgery you want to do, cosmetic,
you can do liposuction,
yeah,
whatever, it doesn't fix
no,
it.
it doesn't.
Dang it. I know some people think if I just take out some fat over here and inject it over there, I'm all good. So it doesn't work that way.
No, it doesn't fix it.
So do you help people? So once they see their results and they're like, okay, I do have visceral fat that's much too high than what's recommended. What do I need to do? Then what do you say to them?
Oh man, it's different section.
Yes.
So the good thing about our clinic is depending on what people have to work on. Some people come to that clinic, they want to lose fat.
Yes.
And then they discover their blood work. So we would request them to get us blood work.
Blood work as well.
Basic recommendation.
Yes.
And we find out they are dealing with pre-diabetes or diabetes. So sometimes they end up dealing with something that they really need to work on.
Yes.
We will develop personalized protocol
for
you that would help you. So we teach lifestyle. So it's a general component of every bit and pieces.
Yes.
And one of the things that we also use in the clinic is the science of fasting. So we develop it personalized according to your blood work.
Okay.
You can handle, and we look at your lifestyle. I deal with a lot of people from different cultures.
Yes.
So cultural food is a big thing.
Okay,
so I
love
have
that.
to break it down
Yes.
to sort of teach you how to make those food and all of that. So it's like a package of all.
Wow.
And we would develop protocol according to what you need to work on. And
Amazing.
then we follow up, because then you have to come back to the clinic.
Yes, to see
track
the progress. Yeah,
yes.
And you get to actually see that in the machine.
Yes.
Which must feel amazing.
Yes,
okay.
Absolutely.
I like that you talked about the culturally sensitive food.
Yes.
So that means you're not just making people eat leaves, like that. Like this beautiful garden behind us. It's beautiful, but not everybody just wants to eat that. Like it's like, I'm not a bird, I'm not a, So what do you, how do you help people figure out like food that fits what they need for their body, but still is culturally sensitive?
So it's so funny because, sometimes in life, things just happen and it all runs together.
Yes.
Growing up, we ate different kinds of food.
Absolutely.
So I would say people think that, so from Africa, I'm from Nigeria.
Yes.
And right now, more people focus on eating white rice.
Yes.
That is not our cultural food.
Oh my, no,
in
it's
Nigeria,
not.
where I came from, we had different kinds of food.
Yes.
Green beans, round beans, egidik, but there's so many names.
Yes.
We had different kinds of vegetables.
Yes.
I don't see that anymore.
Right.
When I go to the stores and people are emphasizing that they have the white rice, that is jollof rice, is a big deal. Yes, Nigerian is big in jollof rice, for example, but that is not the food I ate.
No, that's more like a party, like special events and stuff like that. Yeah.
So I take them back to what was exactly the food you guys ate growing up.
Okay.
This is not what my dad gave
like
to me.
real cultural, not the Western washed cultural food.
So sometimes it gets people thinking. Say, you know what? Yeah. Let's go back and find out what exactly our parents ate, or our forefathers ate, or our grandparents ate.
Okay.
Yes.
I like this. Yes. Go back to the roots, because they were healthy.
Right.
They were healthy. They ate well. They gardened. They were active.
Absolutely.
Wow.
Yes.
I love that. So speaking of activity, we're really big into movement. We're really big into circulation. You know, we specialize in compression products to help people boost circulation and all of that stuff. How does circulation play a role in some of these things you're talking about? Does this machine show like circulatory health as well, or?
Yes, it does help
Okay.
in terms of water, because
Yes,
yes,
it shows
remember,
your,
yeah,
yes,
so
yes,
if
yes,
you
yes.
had water retention, it's
Yes,
going to
it'll
show.
show.
So over
Okay.
time we track that data and
Yes.
see if people who have water retention, if you were
Yes.
dealing with something or you were on LASIK. So that is why I have to find out what medication you're on, so that
Right.
we don't see surprises.
Yes.
And then you're worried about the kinds of results
that you're getting, because then if
Yes.
it's linked to the medication, then you know it's
Yeah.
expected.
Right.
But if it's something else, then we need to get down to the something else.
Yes.
So majority of our clients, they get swelling from, you know, work, right? So they're sitting all day at work or standing all day at work, legs get tired. The swelling is not like a lot, but it's there and it feels uncomfortable. It feels heavy. What else? Like obviously compression socks help to support
Right.
that, but what other kind of like lifestyle changes have you been able to see that helps people with that movement and in the workplace especially?
So I would say there's a lot going on inside of you.
Yes.
Inflammation will cause a lot of
Yes,
things.
absolutely.
So
Absolutely.
lifestyle, eating healthy.
Food, yes.
Food is a big one. Trying to clean your diet.
Yes.
There's a lot of carb. So in the past, there's been a lot of research around carbohydrate, this or whatever, controversial research.
Right.
But I'm telling you, the fact of the matter is that if you get rid of all the sugary thing,
Right.
the way the body metabolizes different kinds of food,
Yes.
it's not the same.
Right.
And if people get to understand, education is a big part of what we do in our clinic.
Yes.
If people understand this food, how the body metabolizes it, carbohydrate, protein, and fat,
Yes.
then they will make a better choice.
Better choice, yeah, because
Yes.
they're educated and they know what they're doing.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So when you take, for example, if you're eating vegetables and somebody's eating like chicken or whatever, and then the other person's eating egg, your body doesn't see it like the same product.
Right.
One is seen like protein,
Yeah.
amino acid gets
Yes.
to play.
Yes.
One is seen like fatty acid,
Right.
and fatty acid get to play. One is seen as glucose and
Right.
glycogen. So
Right.
you see your body metabolizes differently. So if
Mhm.
you're having like circulatory problem, I think your diet is a very big
Huge
part
part.
of you.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Take away like a lot of carbohydrates.
Yes. Yes.
Our
Yes.
body doesn't need that. People depend on sugar a lot for a lot of things. They eat sugar here, sugar there. That is not good for you. That is almost like toxin
It's a
that
toxin.
you're ingesting into your body system.
But
Get
how
rid
do
of
you
that.
get rid? Because it's, I think most people know though. Here's the thing.
Yeah.
Most people know that sugar is not great. But sometimes they feel like we feel like we need a little sugar. Why do we feel like we need that?
That's craving. It needs to be cleansed.
How?
So that is where the signs of fasting come.
Fasting.
So
Okay.
when you start, part of what we do too, we cleanse people from craving.
Yes.
So when your body is craving, that's when you need those sugar.
Yes.
But
yes.
when you're full and you feel satisfied,
Yes.
you have no craving.
You have
for
no
sugar.
cravings.
Yeah.
Right.
So craving is something that needs to be treated.
Yes.
And so you start craving sugar, you crave donuts.
Yes.
You need to be treated. You need to get your body get rid of all of those cravings.
Yes.
By getting into a protocol.
Yes.
So that's why we develop a personal protocol for you.
Yes. A routine.
So, yes. And then you cleanse yourself from those cravings. Once in a while, if you want to give yourself, so regardless of what you do, you always have a feasting day.
Yeah. Yes. Once in a while.
But then after your feasting, you know how to get back to your routine.
To your routine.
Yes.
How often should a feasting day be?
Well, all depends. So I would say if you were dealing with something.
Yes.
So that is why it's personalized, right?
Right.
Everyone is not the same.
No. So not everyone can have feasting days in the same frequency.
Right. So not everyone can have. So generally speaking, I said if you've lost all the weight and you are just fine.
Yeah.
And you're just
maintaining. Yeah.
Maybe once a week.
Once a week? Okay. That's not bad.
Yes.
Okay.
But I'll say, regardless of what you're feasting on, make sure you are giving yourself the right treat.
Yes.
To be honest, I don't
higher quality treats.
Right. Yeah. I don't think we have any time to waste to ingest anything that's toxin.
Right.
There's no time.
There's no time for toxin. Not even on the cheat days.
Well, we just have to be really careful.
Really careful.
Really careful because if you understand exactly what food is all about.
Right.
So I've listened to a lot of people talk about food, how you have to enjoy your food and enjoy.
Right.
But if you really know how your body metabolizes those food,
Right.
you'll know some food is not enjoyment.
Right.
Because
You're
you
just
know
killing yourself in a
exactly.
sense.
It's
Yeah.
like sometimes you ingest something, your body doesn't even recognize it. It's like, what a poison. Where should I place this? So
That's the
think about it.
educational piece.
Yes.
You know, it's funny because, and that helped when I, you know, through my studies, and I think people who don't necessarily understand fully how the body metabolizes things, it's easy to think, hey, that looks good. And marketing is good. There's things that are branded very well. They look cute. They look like fun to eat, you know? But it's funny, at some point, I used to say, and my family would say, oh my goodness, you're too much. I would say, I can literally feel my arteries clogging. I would say, I can feel my cells right now. And it seemed like I was exaggerating. But looking back, I think like because of the awareness, there is a sense in which it doesn't sit the same way. So I think there's grace because sometimes if we don't know, you know, we don't know.
Right.
But the more we know, the more I think it becomes easier
Right.
to say no to something because we know what we're actually doing. Does that make sense?
Yes, of course.
Yeah.
I like the grace piece. That is why I say it's a bit.
Yes.
You don't sit down because generally speaking, people don't know.
Right.
But we have to share in love.
Yes.
Many
you have to share in
culture,
love.
yes. Many culture use food.
Yes.
In terms of sharing.
Yes.
And that
it
really
brings the community together, which is important. Right. Like there's value beyond nutrition.
Of course.
When we gather.
Of course,
right.
Of course. And someone like me, sometimes when I go and visit, I'll see they'll bring like pop on the table, bring all kinds of things.
Yeah.
You know, that is where the sharing comes in.
Yes.
Because you don't want people to not
feel offended,
disconnected.
Yes.
You know, you want them connected.
Right.
It's a community.
So you partake.
Yeah, you partake, but that's why I said you have to be careful.
Yes.
How much of that you ingest.
Do you partake?
And then use that opportunity as education.
Yes.
You can turn all of this around and make something good out of it.
Make something good out of it.
Yes.
Yeah, I love that.
Yes.
Actually, at our events, we often are very intentional about what we choose to serve, because it's kind of like a way to encourage people. It's like, this is an option. This is something you could make at home yourself. So I love that piece of like using connection as an educational moment as well, not just, you know, gathering around sugar and whatever else, right? That's wonderful. Okay. We're out of time, but I could honestly talk to you about this forever. So what is one last thing you just want to share with the world that we haven't already touched on yet? One last thing.
Take care of you.
Take care of you.
Self-care is not a luxury.
No, it's not.
It's your life.
Yes.
And you have to be in charge of it.
Yes. I love that. I love that. Thank you so much, Pat, for being here. This was wonderful.
You're very welcome.
I'm excited to get on your machine. I don't know what I'm going to find, but I want to check my bone health, actually. I'm very curious about that and different things. So thank you for being here.
We'll be happy to have you.
Yay.
Yes. Thank you for having me. Yes.
My pleasure. Have a wonderful day and see you tomorrow at another day of 21 Days of Self-Care. Bye.